What's good, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Mikey Raider, coming to you from my bathroom. But I'm not actually pooping. It's just a good place that has a counter. I can set my camera phone on the wall, and I can talk to you straightforward, even though I don't have a Raider background and all the other amazing stuff. And it's got lighting right above my head, so it works pretty decently, or right there. Please hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. Consider donating with the information down below, or super chatting, super whatever, super thanks, super stickers, or becoming a member of this channel to support me. And Lord knows I could use it, because I am struggling in a lot of ways. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about some new information that came to light in the previous 4 days since my post-game review show. But first, I wanted to do some housekeeping and get everybody up to date. I will be going live for the Lions game this Monday night. Check in to this channel about half an hour before the game, maybe 40 minutes before the game, probably 30 minutes. I will be going live, reacting. I'm making it an event. You guys are going to be able to get me crunk, buy me some, I think I'm going to have corn dogs instead of chicken legs. I also believe I'm going to have shots and beer to buy me a beer, and you guys can get me wild and yelling. So if it's a good game, you're going to get good vibes. If it's a bad game and I'm crunk, you're going to get a pissed off Mikey Raider. But please tune in for the game if you guys want to react and watch the game live with me. I will not have the game on screen, but I'll have my reaction. Other than that, thank you guys. I appreciate you. And let's do this. There's been some new information that has come to light that I wanted to give you guys my opinion on. And here it goes. First off, the question is, what's wrong with McDaniels' offense? It's McDaniels. He has the same high school Patriot offense from the early 2000s. And he's not making adjustments or changes, and he's putting his wide receivers in the same play, on the same occasion, in the same route, almost 5, 6, 7 times a game. I am no guru, but I've seen multiple videos this past week where players say they know the scheme. I've also read reports that players on the defensive side of the ball, when playing the Raiders, are calling out the game play or the strategy and knowing where to go before it all happens. So, that is a coaching issue. This offense will not work. Josh McDaniels seems unwilling to change it. And he didn't want to get an athletic quarterback that can change things up and make options for us. He wanted to stick with the old Tom Brady stand in the pocket NFL game with Garoppolo, Carr at that moment, whoever. And it is no longer working. And I don't see any changes this year to that effect for a running mobile quarterback. But his offense needs to get better, and he needs to add more talent and more skills to the quarterback position. Still does not mean a player will thrive under his game calls or his play management, but it would add a trait to a quarterback to be at least mobile and run for his life and maybe get a few yards and make a play on the run. But that will not happen this year. If he's still our coach next year, we can address it then. But that is a huge issue that Josh McDaniels has not been willing to change, even after he got rid of Carr and in somebody he drafted in Aiden O'Connell. So that's why people are clamoring that Aiden O'Connell should play whenever Garoppolo is injured, because the coach says Brian Hoyer gives us the best chance to win one week, or a previous week he said O'Connell gives us the best chance to win against the Chargers. Then he goes back to Hoyer, and now, depending on what happens this week, it's probably going to be O'Connell. Flip-flop, flippity-flop, flippity-flop. All right, enough about that coaching situation. We all know what's going on. Everybody's made up their mind, and we all believe in fire Josh McDaniels. But as Mark Davis would say, smarten up, and it's not something we can do at this moment. We can't. We're still in the season. But changes need to be made. Changes need to be made. Hondo Carpenter mentioned that there was going to be some wrinkles for this upcoming Monday game. And if I was running the team or being one of the players, I would have a players-only meeting, because we all hear that there is rumblings of disgruntledness within the players, maybe on the offense, maybe on the defense, and whatever. I would hold a players-only meeting if I was Max Crosby or Davante Adams, realizing that we cannot change Josh McDaniels, but we can change up our energy and our focus. And instead of us being mad at McDaniels, we got to start calling for different plays. We got to start yelling, talking more for different strategies, different game plans. Wide receivers need to say, Coach, I'm going to go deep in this play. I think I'll be open before the play, telling the coach that, or the quarterback. But something needs to change, because we all know, even with the words of Davante Adams, it is not working the way it's going. And Josh seems reluctant, or not understanding, or not changing the obvious things that need to be changed. He might be changing things, but he's changing it within his offensive system that is clearly only working 20 to 25% of the time. He's not bringing in a new offense or a couple of new offensive plays that he have never run. He is not bringing that in every week to solidify, maybe by the end of the season, a new offense. So that's why the players need to hold a meeting just between themselves, and that will be a public message to Josh McDaniels or Patrick Graham or whoever, that the players are worried about something and they are thinking about something, but they're trying to get all the players' heart, respect, and pride on the same page under a bullshit system and a bullshit regime. It's okay if we lose the locker room, but we can't lose the Raider pride and the Raider winning faithfulness, if you understand what I'm saying. And for some players, they need to be questioned by players only, not by coaches. I can throw things to Marcus Peters. I could throw things to a couple of players on the offensive line. I could throw it to Josh Jacobs. Because something is happening. They're losing pride. They're losing strength. They're losing playmaking abilities. And we all want to blame it on the offense, the coach, the this, the that. And I understand that. But let's be honest. In a bad offense, players can still find excitement and energy and pride and ball out that much more. And then when plays do happen, it'll make the offense that much better. So, players need to hold a meeting, in my opinion. They need to hold a meeting. I wish they would have stayed in the East Coast, but no, for some damn reason, they took it upon themselves to come back to Las Vegas. When in my opinion, they needed to stay in the hotel. They needed to bond before this Monday Night Football game, and they needed to get away in the hotel, in the rec room of the hotel. Run some plays, get on the field in Detroit or Chicago until they went to Detroit or wherever. They needed to bond without the coach. So that's why I'm a little bit upset that they flew all the way back to Vegas instead of doing that and having a little bit of fun in a bad week, publicly and everything. But again, that should have been planned months ago. They didn't know that they were going to be losing or struggling, but still, when you're on the East Coast, make plans to have a bonding experience for your team. They should have did that months ago, in my opinion. They could have seen the town of Detroit. They could have seen the town of Chicago a little bit after, or vice versa. These are things that Josh McDaniels and the staff do not come up with that's creative, as well as game planning and other things to excite the team, to make the team bond and all that other stuff. Remember in previous years, we would hear about bowling, going bowling with the rookies, all the teams, the players, going out to dinners, doing this and doing that, publicly, playing mini golf, arcade games. I remember hearing stories like that from the Raiders press department, even with Gruden. I don't remember hearing any of that stuff with Josh McDaniels. Another reason why it doesn't feel like a family and we're all being divided. Now, in terms of being divided, we are getting reports, and I call them reports, from many Raider YouTubers. But it all started with one Raider YouTuber, where they did, right after the game, they did anonymous reports from players. That's right, we got anonymous statements from the Raider players. We can't tell you who they're from, but we got statements about the team from anonymous Raider players. Also, we're only going to give you like 4 statements. We actually have a lot more statements that we're not allowed to give. And we're also not going to tell you who they're from because they're anonymous. We got statements that we can't give, but we got statements that we can give, and they're all from anonymous people. All right, my bullshit meter just went up. First off, people that believe these statements, they took it and ran. They took it and ran and made more videos. Oh, we're getting statements from, reporters and this and that players are upset and, they don't like Josh McDaniels and this and whatever the statements were. I don't have to read them here. Again, these are statements that we all know and we're all thinking about. I just don't believe they were mentioned by a Raider player or 2 or 3 to this Raider YouTuber. Because the statements are what we're all thinking. Every fan, it's coming out of the frustrations that we already have. I think these are statements from us or his mind, and he's calling it anonymous players. So I call bullshit, Mitchell Renge. Bullshit. Put a name on it. Put a name on it. But it saddens me that people believe this crap. I mean, if he had actual players giving him these statements, then I'm wrong and I will gladly take it back on talking crap. But from the outset, he's not a reporter, he's not in Las Vegas, and he's just a YouTuber. Has he had Raider players, current Raider players on any of his shows? I do not know. I do not watch the channel or the show that much, if at all. If he has had Raider players that were current, then kudos. Maybe he is talking to Raider players. But it sounds like BS to me, and I just wanted to let everybody know that in the world of YouTube and Twitter, everybody needs to have their BS meter, and you need to analyze the situation. So, and be honest with you, I don't know what Raider reporter to actually believe, but it's not Mitchell Renz and it's not Chat Sports. You know, they ask for money to drink beer and get drunk off of your dime. Eh. But hey, who's one to talk? Because I'm doing the same thing this Monday night. That being said, whatever. But these reports came out. Then there was also a legit report about Hunter Renfrow. There was a legit report about Hunter Renfrow that he is being shopped or traded because of personal relationship problems. Personal relationship problems. What does that mean? Well, that means, and I'm speculating, but it wasn't said who the personal problem was with, but we all know it's petty ass Josh McDaniels. The same thing happened to Derek Carr. People still want to blame Derek Carr. Can blame Derek Carr for his play on the field, his lack of leadership last year, him losing it, him crying, whatever he did, blame it on Carr. But Josh McDaniels is an evil, manipulative, petty, sarcastic, narcissistic snake. And he puts people through the ringer. He tests their emotions, and he tests their pride and their power, and he basically lets them know, I don't give a F about you. I don't care if you're our quarterback. You're going to do what the heck I tell you when I tell you, and you're never going to talk bad to me or talk about it badly, and you're never going to second guess me. That's why I'm going to sit on the bench after every mistake you made and show you how badly you made that mistake. Because I am the king and I know what's right. Then, during the meetings, I'm going to question you in front of the entire team, and I'm going to point out those mistakes again, and I'm going to call you names, and I'm going to call out your bullshit play and your bullshit decisions when you make them, and I'm going to do it in front of the entire team. I am going to break you down, and I want to see if you have the Tom Brady, the LeBron James, the Mambo mentality that you say you have to come back and fight me on it, and let's build something together. But I am going to break you down until you speak up. So that is not the right mentality as a coach to go against players, young players, and insecure players. That might be the Patriot way, but God damn it, we're not the Patriots. Mark Davis, Josh McDaniels, and everybody else that's trying to recreate the Patriot way, y'all have no clue on this Raider culture thing. You have no fucking clue. You don't know what we're about. You guys needed to create your own thing. You needed to create your own Raider way, not on the back of Tom Brady, not on the back of the Patriots, and not on the back of us fans who are dying and crying because we understand this culture. But Josh McDaniels is a petty human being, and he did whatever he did to Derek Carr, and that affected Davante Adams, that affected Hunter Renfrow, that affected Colton Miller, that affected Josh Jacobs, and all the people that saw what was going on. Then at the drop of the dime, like a new person to jail or a new person that goes to prison, you got to take out the biggest, baddest person to let everybody know not to fuck with you. Well, Josh McDaniels came in, fake or fraudulently gave everybody new contracts to appease the fans, to make everybody think he's on their side. But then during the season, he took out the people that he didn't feel was willing to work with him enough. So by the end of the season, we all know what happened. Then in the offseason, we all know what happened. And this affected players that are still on this team. Hunter Renfrow, somewhere, some way, said something, mentioned something to somebody else, told somebody something, And then petty ass Josh McDaniels has been holding it against him this entire year, if not even last year when all of this was happening. Because in a Josh McDaniels system, we all know that he had players like Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, and Hunter Renfrow is a baby little clone of that. But if Josh McDaniels wanted to not be petty, make him a part of the offense, he could have. But Josh McDaniels' offense has regressed, and he doesn't even remember the play calls or whatever he did in previous years to make these so-called players successful. He only draws up play for one receiver every play. He draws up runs for one running back every play. There's not a lot of verbiage to change the play to. And when they do change plays, there's not enough creativity or motivation to do so correctly. And he doesn't have a good grasp on today's defenses, let alone today's athletic offenses. But petty-ass Josh McDaniels is trading Hunter Renfrow. And I got information, but I'm going to call it a gut feeling so I don't sound fraudulent. I have a gut feeling, even though it's, in my opinion, or maybe I heard it, has already been traded. Meaning an offer has been set, an offer has been accepted, now they're going through the paperwork. But this is just a gut feeling. And I expect the official news to come out probably Sunday morning, or if not Monday morning at the latest. I don't expect Hunter Renfrow to travel with the team. I don't know if that'll be a story, but the rumors are that we are getting a 5th round draft pick or worse for Hunter Renfrow. And we are going to have to eat some of this year's or left next year's, maybe both, but we're going to have to eat some of the salary that's on his contract in order for the other team to officially take the trade. The rumors are that they wanted a player-for-player swap and a contract swap for a good defensive player, but that is not in the cards. And I'm not calling myself a reporter, and I'm not pretending I'm breaking news. I'm going to call it a gut feeling, even though I heard from a couple of people that are a lot closer to the Raiders, and they said, hey, put this on your radar. So if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't matter because it's only my gut feeling. Okay, that being said, there is a path to win versus the Detroit Lions. There is a path to win. I don't know how they're going to do it, but there is a path to win. And it's up to Josh McDaniels to change his philosophy, to make a speech before the game, apologize to his team, and not be the standard petty a-hole that he has currently been. He has an opportunity to be like the coach of the Lions, to get some excitement into them, regardless of what's happening, and to bring out a little bit of pride and a little bit of poise for them to play that much better in his crappy system. Whether it be on defense or offense, he has that opportunity to be a motivator. But he's never been a motivator, and he can't really do it all the time because they don't respect him enough for that. But he could try one time and see what happens. That is a path to possibly getting the best out of his team under a bad system. Now, for the defensive side of the ball, players got to call out other players for not playing up to their par. They got to put players in better situations. They need to blitz a little bit more. They need to bring cornerbacks and linebackers. But, they need to freak Jared Goff out. Maybe I'll do another video before that where we can talk about the actual path to winning. But for now, I just wanted to get you guys up to date on some information that I saw online that I wanted to talk about and give you guys my opinion. Because some of y'all respect me and think I'm a good commentator and I have good opinions or thoughts on our Raiders. And I appreciate you. I love you. It is not a lost season. It's just a lost team. But when somebody's lost, they can be found. But somebody has to look for them. I don't think Josh McDaniels is looking. I don't think Mark Davis is looking. We'll talk about actual firings after this Lions game. I see a path of Josh McDaniels gaining a little bit of redemption, but it needs to start this week. It needs to start with winning, and it needs to start with him swallowing his pride and admitting his failures to the team, if not publicly. People have empathy. And if you can do that and swallow your bullshit, we'll respect you a little bit more. But then you got to get some victories on top of that. We are a capable winning team. They just got to put their shit together. Stay healthy, stay happy, Raider Nation, and don't no longer let these games kill you, give you a heart attack, stress your soul. There's more important things in life than to give your energy to Josh McDaniels. If you want to give your love and your passion to the players, hoping they play better each and every week, I'm with you. Give your passion to the fan base, but not the owner and not the coach. We have to protest as best as we can for a better team. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay blessed, and I'll see you on Monday night. Let's go, Raiders.